did not feel like... No, I wasn't going to say I didn't feel like making this video. That's not what I was going to say. So let's start over. It's your girl Queen Jones, a.k.a. Killer Queen T, a.k.a. Blackout T, a.k.a. Don't stay over there, sit over here. Why the fuck is your child all the way over there any damn way? Anywho, I have been searching and searching for this fucking poem. Searching for this fucking poem that I have fucking wrote. And I thought to myself, it was lost. It was gone. And I should never ever see it again. And then I found it. It's called Your Skin. Your skin is soft. Your skin is soft. I love the way it tastes. If I wrote 100 sentences about skin, would you notice that I said the word skin more than I talked about the subject? The skin smells like lily soap. The skin has 2 dimples on the cheek. The skin hung loosely by the door with blood dripping on the floor. Her arm was found hung around a cross at a chapel. A foot was put in the offering at a church. It was still bleeding. There was never a trail. There was never a witness. No one was reported missing. Somewhere someone was crying. I, on the other hand, was feeling on your skin. Dreaming of the next, but hoping they screamed and cried like you. The skin almost dried out. And I'm so upset because it's not looking like I'm going to find what else I want to do for you. You know? So, of course, you like to quiz, what was you really going to do? Take a nap. I was really for taking a nap. I hadn't got up to post my video by 9 o'clock. I slept in. And then, I was going to get up and make a video, but then I had company. That's what happened. I had company. And then most of the time it's like, if think of it like this. If stuff happens and then I don't wake up on time, or I wake up and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'll make the video later. And then as soon as I say I'll make the video later, it's like the universe be like, all right, well, when is later? And then I be like, I'm gonna get to it, but then the universe be like, because I'm just saying when it's later, because you got all this other shit to attend to, like this, and this. So I'm saying, but I think the universe gets tired of me, y'all, because, you know, the universe be like, I'm gonna send you somebody. I think you ready to meet that somebody, and I'd be like, yeah. Universe, who is you texting? Nobody. I'm not texting nobody. Send. Yeah, I'm ready to meet. I'm ready to move on. I was just telling God this, like I'm off those fuck niggas. God. So did you want this fuck nigga to respond? Cause you just texted him. God, come on. The universe is not supposed to know. Universe. You knows I'm human. Still got some human ways up in me. Universe be like, I was just about to send somebody. I was about to send the perfect one for you. And here you is showing signs that you still stuck up on the past. And I'd be like, cause you remember that time, universe, where I thought I was gonna move on to the next, and then that happened. Like, we're not even gonna be rude. So I wasn't gonna post. And then I was like, okay, Squeeze, well, if you don't post today, you could use the whole it's Sunday excuse. But then I looked at my calendar and I seen that it was Saturday. So I can't use that today. But I might use it tomorrow. So if y'all don't get no video by 9 o'clock tomorrow, just know that I'm thinking about using that excuse. Like, damn, it's Sunday. I had to pray. You're not supposed to work on a Sunday. But anyway, I love this whole series. I know I ain't gonna be able to do the whole book. The Buford series, I love it. We're gonna start with The Fallen. Because remember, we just got rid of a book. And I'm not trying to hit y'all with too much. Too much, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's called The Fallen by Paul Langan. And with the following books, I be feeling like some of them be like a series. Like they like you need to read this book to know what's going on in this book, to know what's going on in that book, to know what's going on in that book. I know it's all high school. It's like a series, but whatever. We're just going to start somewhere. Anyway, chapter 1. Martin, do you have anything to say for yourself? Mr. Gay says to me. I can hear anger in his voice. He's the superintendent of Buford High School, a large, silver-haired man in his late 80s. I mean, late 60s. I said late 80s. This man is old as hell. Jesus. His lips are pencil thin, and there are bags under his eyes. Bags from listening to stories like mine. I know he's going to throw me out of Buford. I can't blame him. All he knows about me is what he's read in that thick fold on his desk. I can see the pink suspension sheets notices from my seat. He flips through them like he's leafing through an old phone book. I know the words he's reading. I remember the last letter the school district sent to my mother. Martin Loon has on multiple occasions displayed severe behavioral problems in school and on school grounds. He has repeatedly engaged in threatening and hostile confrontations with other students, and he has violated school attendance policies numerous times. Furthermore, given his most recent outbursts, it is the opinion of the district that he poses a threat to the students and faculty. As a result, the district recommends that Martin Luna be expelled from Buford High School. Damn! My mother cried when she got the letter. I found it laying on our kitchen counter, stained with teardrops that made the ink bleed. Come on now. Phones. I crumbled it up right then, but it didn't matter. The damage was done. Today, my hearing, my last chance. Well, he says, he's looking at me now. He doesn't even blink. The auditorium is quiet except for someone coughing as I stand to answer him. I hear my mother sniffle behind me. I'm so sorry for everything, Ma, I want to say. I feel guilt clawing at my chest like invisible hands. Please don't do this, my mother yells out. He's a good boy, please. I turn to see her standing at her seat, holding her hands as if she's praying to him. Her nose is running and her voice is trembling. It reminds me of how she was 3 months ago, the day my little brother died. I close my eyes to push the memories back, but it doesn't work. Miss Luna, Mr. Gates cuts in. I understand that this is difficult for you, but we already heard what you had to say. Now please, let your son speak. My mother sits down, crosses herself, and silently wipes her eyes. She's never backed down from anything, but this time, I know she expects the worst. So do I. Dang. Mr. Gates turns back to me. He closes my folders, drops his pen, and rubs his forehead like he's got a bad headache. I am in trouble. No question about it. Mr. Luna, in just 2 weeks at Buford High School, you have been in several serious fights. You have cut school, skipped classes, and last Friday, in the middle of yet another fight, you struck a teacher. This behavior is unacceptable. Unless there are some extruding circumstances, I'm afraid we have no choice but to expel you. Now, this hearing is your opportunity to tell your side of the story. Martin, what do you have to say for yourself? I look up at him because some of his words escaped me. Extruding circumstances? I don't know what they are, but I do know there are reasons why I shoved old Mr. Drooling into a wall. Why me and Mr. Steve Morris kept fighting. Why my anger sometimes explodes like a gunshot. I never meant for any of it to happen. I knew I screwed up, especially when I pushed the teacher. But everything else I did was the best I could do. Was the only choice I really had. There's no way Mr. Gates would ever understand this. His eyes tell me what he thinks. Expelling me is the right thing to do. There is no change in his mind. I can see that. Still, like Vicky says, I gotta try. I take a deep breath and begin telling him the truth. How it started days ago when I stumbled into Blufford, a bloody mess. Oh my God, Martin, Vicky said as she looked at the cut over my eye. Her mouth was wide open. Her hands covered her cheeks. Who did this to you? Was it Stevie? I shook my head no. I wish she didn't have to see me this way. I could taste blood in my mouth and knew some sun was on my face. She deserved to know what happened, but I had no time to explain. Frankie and the rest of my crew were on the road, and someone was about to get hurt. I had to do something. Now. I'm fine, Vicky. I'll catch up with you later, I said, but my voice cracked into a nasty whisper. I was dizzy. Too many punches to my head. Quick, Martin. Inside. Right now, barked Miss Spencer, our principal. She led me past Vicky straight to the front office. The rest of you, get back to class. There's nothing to see here. It was almost time for first lunch period, and a small crowd of students had gathered at the front of the school to see my entrance. They looked at me as if I had just shot someone. What are you staring at? I felt like saying, but I had more important things to worry about. Miss Spencer, I need to speak to someone I know. He's a cop. His name is Nelson Ramirez. I need to speak with him now, I said. She studied my face carefully, not sure whether to trust me. I couldn't blame her. Where I come from, you don't talk to cops, and you don't expect them to solve problems. I learned that when Hero, my little brother, was killed. For months, my mother and I waited for the police to do something. All we got from them was an apology and some excuses about workload and too many cases. But Ramirez was different. He was Shinigo, like us, a friend of my mom's who grew up in a barrel. He held my mom and my brother's funeral and understood the day Hero died, part of me died too. Where else could I turn? I already called the police, Martin, Miss Spencer said as I collapsed into the squeaky chair in her office. I called your mother too. She's on her way, she added. My headache was getting worse. The last thing I wanted was my mom to see me this way. But I didn't have time to worry about it. Call Ramirez, I repeated, rubbing my swollen jaw. Here's his phone number. Tell him Martin Loon is looking for him. I handed her the crumpled piece of paper he'd given me over the summer. Why him? Miss Spencer asked, studying the scrap like it was a fake ID card or something. If you did something wrong, now is the time to tell me so you won't get in any worse trouble. I wanted to cuss her out right there. Behind her wide-rimmed glasses, she couldn't see nothing. I wasn't afraid of any punishment she could give me. A suspension? A letter? That ain't nothing compared to watching your brother die in your arms. Feeling his skin turn cool in your arms. And now more blood was about to spill. There ain't no more trouble. There ain't no worse trouble, I growled, tired of talking to her. I jumped up and reached for her office phone, but my legs was weak, and the room suddenly felt like waves were rolling through the floor. I leaned against the wall to stop from falling. Martin! Miss Spencer yelled, grabbing me and easing me back into the chair. Her eyes were wide with worry. Really? You think that was worry? I don't think so. Please, Miss Spencer, I said, pointing to the phone. Okay, I'm calling him right now. Just sit down and don't move, she said, nervously dialing the number. But if there's something I can do to protect you and the other students in this school, you need to let me know. Protect me? Too late for that, I wanted to say. The room was spinning. I grabbed the chair to steady myself. Just call him. I knew it would come down to this. I knew it the second I agreed to meet my homeboys in the parking lot outside of Blue Fruit. Our crew, Frankie, Chargo, Junie, and Jesus, were about to do something we had talked about since Huro died. We were going to get revenge. Oh my goodness. After months of searching, we found out who shot my brother. A punk named Hector Mando. We talked about what we'd do all summer. For a while, I dreamed about it day and night and day. It was the only thing that pushed the hurt away. The only reason I had to get up in the morning. Don't get me wrong, I ain't no gangbanger. I've stolen a few things and gotten into some fights. But I never did something serious like this before. But everything changed when Hugo died. I snapped like an old rubber band. Frankie Pachasco knew this. He was the oldest and toughest in our crew. He got us guns and showed us what we needed to know. After a while, I was ready to let it all go down like that. Pow! Pop, 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 pop! Just 3 shots. A blast of sour gun smoke. The screeching of tires as Frankie's old lean means pulled away. The same sounds I heard the afternoon Huro died. That would be the end of it. But I couldn't do it. Somebody, you can't set up. Listen, kids. If you can't carry it out, let it be known. Don't just keep plotting it because there's always somebody in the group this on that, this about that life. So you need to let it be known from the beginning that this all talk and you ain't about that life. Cause if they find out that you snitch when you was the one that came up with this grand scheme of things, then it's gonna be a problem. Cause they about that life. And it seemed like Frankie about that life. So in my head, I kept seeing my brother's face, Vicky's eyes, my mom's tears, and I kept hearing something my English teacher, Mr. Mitchell, said. You could have a bright future ahead of you. Don't throw it away. Call me soft. I don't care. You're not the one who sits at your brother's grave, listen to your mother crying in the dark, and know what it's like to lose someone. If you were, you understood why I couldn't be like the coward who drove down our street and stole my brother's life with a gunshot. Yes, this message is to Officer Renez, Miss Spencer said. This is the principal at Buford High School. I have Martin Luna here in my office. He seems to have been involved in an altercation and wishes to speak with you. He says it's important. I put my head in my hands. A message? Where was he? It was the one time I needed to reach him, and he wasn't there. Call me anytime, he had said when he gave me the number. Yeah, right. I felt Miss Spencer watching me. I knew she was wishing I never transferred into her school. But if I stayed at Zormore High, I'd be in jail or dead already. That's why my mom moved out of our old neighborhood, making me start my sophomore year at Buford High. I was so angry when she told me. I almost punched her. Can you believe that? I hate when I get that way. But Hero's death did that to me. The move added 45 minutes to her bus ride to Walmart. So y'all almost didn't finish the video. The move, Frankie's older sister, but she did it to save me. It didn't work. Where is he? A man yelled into the office, shattering my thoughts. Where's Martin? I looked up to see Mr. Mitchell. The throbbing in my skull was worsening by the minute, and the room was fuzzy, like an old TV that isn't turned in right. What happened? He asked, shaking his head. The other day, he gave me an A for an essay I wrote about Hugo. I wondered what he'd say if he knew another kid was about to die because I was too scared to talk. I stared at him, my heart pounding, my hands sweating. The room seemed to spin. Overhead, the bell sounded, announcing the beginning of the first lunch period. Time was running out, like blood from a cut. Marty, what is it? I knew it would take Frankie at least a half hour to get to Hector's house. It hadn't been that long since we fought. If I acted now, there still was a chance I could do something. But I wasn't. So he did. He tried to stop them at the last minute, and they beat him up, and now they on their way to do it. If I acted now, there was still a chance I could do something. But I wasn't ready to rat out my boys. I ain't no snitch. Is it being a snitch saving a life? I mean, I don't know. Up until a month ago, Frankie and I were like brothers. Family, he called me, and the rest of our crew. I even took a beating to earn that word. That's how we did things. But then Frankie admitted that the bullet that killed my brother was probably aimed at him. As soon as he told me that, we couldn't have been friends any damn way. Mom, my brother got killed because of you. We ain't friends no more. I ain't even looking at you the same. I ain't even worried. We ain't plotting again, getting revenge on nobody. Because as far as I'm concerned, I need to be beating your ass. I need to be going upside your head. I don't know why I never thought of it before, but it made sense. Frankie was the one with the knife wound, the homie most feared on our block. The tattoo-covered 19-year-old who had enemies everywhere. Of course the bullet was meant for him. Not an 8-year-old boy. Not Hero. The news changed me. It was like I'd been asleep and suddenly woke up. Questions kept popping in my head in the middle of the night, cutting our friendship like a knife, making me secretly hate him. Why did Hero have to pay for what Freddie did? And why was Frankie free to cruise the hood while my brothers laying in the ground? Frankie wasn't stupid. He knew I was changing. That's why he wanted me to do the shooting this morning. It would have made me as guilty as him. and would mean he would always have something on me in case I gave him trouble. I'm sure he planned it this way, but he didn't plan on me backing out. First of all, he didn't plan on you backing out. What the fuck you mean he didn't plan on you backing out? Because that friendship should have been over with. The minute he told you that. The minute he let you know that he was the reason your brother got killed. Dead. Friendship, end. Just like my brother life, dead. That's how you know we got different values up in this bitch. You say you the reason? Dead. My brother dead. You are dead to me. Dead. I'm not doing it, Frankie. I'm serious, I announced while we were all sitting in his Le Mans ready to get Hector. The car got as quiet as a grave. You should have seen Frankie's face. If it were a gun, I'd be dead right now. I jumped out before anyone could stop me. Chargo, my best friend from back in the day, tried to change my mind. He was worried about what Frankie would do next. Come on, Martin. We're family, man. Brothers, Cargo said. Let's go. Ain't no fucking way we finna have a crowd. My brother got my real life brothers killed. What the fuck is wrong? Talking about we brothers. The fact that y'all all scared of homie. Okay, that's what it is. The word strong stung me. Family, it was like a slap in my face. Look what the word did to me. It cost me my brother and was about to turn me into a criminal. That ain't what family is supposed to be. Anyone who says not so needs to get their head examined. My brother was Huro, Chargo, I said, and he's dead because something Frankie did. You know it's true. What we about to do? It ain't family trick, Chargo. It's crazy. Frankie lost it. His jaw tightened up, and he got this cold look I saw once before when he jumped the kid for talking to his girlfriend. The guy was already on the ground when Frankie's foot smashed into his face with a heavy, wet thud. I could still hear the sound. The guy moaned and threw up, and Frankie backed away, acting like he was trying to protect his new steel-tipped boots from the mess. Like they were more important than another person. Frankie was ready to do worse to me when he stepped out of his car. Don't get me wrong. I can handle myself in a fight. But I'm no match for Frankie. His fist pounded into my face and side, knocking me to my knees. That's when he pulled out his gun. Oh, I'm not prepared for that. You can't leave your family, Martin, he said. His 9mm was pointing at my face. It was the first time I looked into a barrel of a gun. All I could think about was the bloody mess I'll be with my mother's family. How she'd cry at my funeral with no sons at her side. I can't go no further. Do what you gotta do, I said. I whispered a prayer just in case. Frankie blinked. Maybe it was the guilt he had for Huro's death. Maybe it was that he didn't want to shoot me in daylight where a crowd of people could witness it. Or maybe it was because he was shocked that I was willing to die to prove that I wasn't a killer. I don't know what it was, but Frankie let me go. This ain't done, he growled and jumped back into his car. I believe him. The clock over Miss Spencer's desk said 10:38. Frankie and the boys had been on the road for 20 minutes already. There were at least 2 guns in the car, and only one who knew their plan was me. I was wasting time. Come on, Martin. It's like I said before. You have a choice. You can end this right now, Mr. Mitchell said, staring at me like I was a puzzle. We're listening. Come on, you gonna snitch? I could feel myself zoning out, like there was a fog settling over my brain. All night long, I replayed how this day would go down. When I grabbed my banana and left to me Frankie, bandana, I said bandana. I knew I had to walk away, that Frankie was going to come at me like never before. But I figured if I could just escape and get to Bruford, it would all be over. I was wrong. Looking at Miss Spencer's tight jaw and Mr. Mitchell's wide eyes, I knew it was just beginning. I could have told you that, homie. What you thought was finna go down? But we gonna need you to snitch. We gonna need you to sing like a sparrow. Well, that's what we gonna need you to do. I'm gonna need you to sing. I'm gonna need you to sing to the high heavens. I'm gonna need you to let me know. And of course, we're gonna end this. We're gonna try to end this with a little of me. Because, the YouTubers, they decided that they're going to go ahead and make up a storyline. They don't even make no damn sense to make up the storyline don't even make no damn sense. And I And I know, like, I'm over here just like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. But the whole time, I'm gonna be over here I'm gonna be in my favorite. Ooh. That's what I'm saying. You think my phone ring this much? It don't. Whew. It's funny how when you order Chipotle with corn now, they just say corn. But it's not actually corn. You get the corn mixture, you know what I'm saying? And calm down. Anyway, hey, Squeeze, go on, get off. You gone. Get off. Ew. Oh, boy. Okay, y'all, this is gonna be my got a little. Okay, I did. I don't know, not iron. But I had the corn dip. Mm. Mm. Gotta be a commercial for the next one. Mm. Mm. Okay. If you feel like, live this like, do something.